All right, let's talk about the tower defense phase 2. All I've done in this phase is add an enemy that spawns, well, an enemy and a spawner, so that the enemy spawns randomly on the edges of the screen and advances towards the tower in the middle. I've added 2 costumes to the enemy, and we're going to use that to denote that maybe he's got 2 HP at a later time. So I'll just show you that real quick. Sprite enemy, oops, that's projectile. Sprite enemy, if I edit Sprite, he's just got 1 black and 1 orange costume. And right now, unless I stop it, he would just straight up animate, flip back and forth between those 2 colors. So looking down at Object Spawner, let's look at its code first. There's a create function in Object Spawner, and all it does is set an alarm. Random range means pick a low value of 60, pick a high value of 120. That interprets to 2 to 4 seconds, and that is frames per second of being 30. And then down here on enemy spawner, it sets a random number under 100. So where is a number anywhere between 0 and 100. And then it just says instance create XY object enemy. And it sets an alarm again, and basically it just resets itself so it goes off again in another 2 to 4 seconds. So that's all the spawner does. And then the enemy's code is a little tougher. So we're going to look at create code first. And basically this places the enemy on the screen. So I first set 2 variables. X span is the width of the room. So I random means give me an integer, no fractions, from 0 to the room width. Same thing with Y, from 0 to the room height. So that's the width of the room and the height of the room. And then these statements up here that we're looking at, object spawner dot where, so that's a dot notation. If object spawner dot where is less than 25, so that randomly generated number between 0 and 100. If it's less than 25, I said spawn it to the right. If it is, and you'll see down here, if it's greater than 25 and less than 50, I say spawn it to the top. If it is greater than 50 and less than 75, I say spawn it to the bottom. And if it is totally greater than 75, I say spawn it to the left. So all these are very similar. So let's just focus on one of them for a moment. We'll just focus on this one right here. So if object spawner dot where is less than 25, then do what? Set the X value equal to the room width, which is sitting on the right edge of the screen. Set the Y value equal to Y span, which Y span could give you any number from the top to the bottom of the screen. So that'll be to the right edge, anywhere from the top and the bottom. We'll look at one more in here. Let's just highlight the second one, because I copied and pasted these once I got rolling. This says object spawner.where is greater than 25 and less than 50. So if that happens, then we said let's spawn that thing somewhere to the top. So this time we let X be the variable X span, and we set Y equal to 0, which is the top of the screen. So in that way, they'll spawn all over the screen. The very last thing we've done after we got all the spawners done, all this stuff right here is all where those things get spawned. You got 4 choices: right, top, left, and bottom, and it depends on that value where, which object spawner did a random number between 0 and 100. And then down here, I just set the image speed equal to 0, which stops the animation for right now. And I just set a variable called my speed equal to random range between 3 and 6. So what did we do then? In the step function, this is the thing that Chad asked me for the other day. It just says move towards point, and again, we use dot notation here, object tower.x, object tower.y, and my speed, which means these things will all attack the tower, but at different speeds. So if we'll run it, you'll see that it looks like this. Again, we're rotating using the H and keys. We're firing using the space bar. I have not set these to destroy yet, but the first 2 had come from the left, and there's one coming from the upper right. And hopefully we can see that these kind of things just come in a little bit from anywhere. There's one that came from the lower corner. I don't know if it was the bottom of the screen or not. We'll just let it run just for a minute to kind of see what the random looks like. There's one came from the top of the screen. In theory, I could shoot him if I had the part of the screen there. And it wouldn't be too hard to code him to shoot him. There we go. I was curious if I saw anything come in from the bottom. That might have been the bottom. It might have been the left. I don't know. I came in from the bottom with a quicker speed. All right, so you get the basic concept. I'm getting random enemies coming in. They might be a little fast. We might have to adjudge that, but you get the basic concept for what we're looking for. So this is phase 2 of tower defense. We'll move on to phase 3 tomorrow. Thanks.